future I'll have gotten to, my company will have gotten into AI, I believe, machine learning, the making of robots.
Information and communication technology has become a driving force for development in the 21st century. In Nigeria, policy on adoption of ICT was initiated in 1999. Virtually every facet of the society is embracing artificial intelligence in solving problems. The rate at which some talented children have shown ingenious interest in the sector is alarming. One of such is this 10-year-old tech genius who is building an application that will provide answers to all health challenges. And the solutions are based on natural remedy. This is just a few of his outstanding achievements as a teenager.
We should empower children from the very young age. Because that's what has lifted up my understanding.
His name is Joshua Agboola, and this is his story.
My little boy.
He finished from this primary school as its head boy and best graduating pupil in 2019. His story is not complete without a mention of this citadel of learning, where the records attest to his extraordinary brilliance. See him holding firmly to the microphone. Little did the school know that he was already starting on a solid foundation that will catapult him to greatness, living the vision of building children with global mindsets, which the school prides itself on.
I'm a programmer, I'm a future skills activist.
I got the headmistress of the school, Abimbola Osage, to explain how Joshua Agboola started. This will guide us into understanding the nature of the boy's exceptional talent.
3 years ago, he actually came up with the idea of coming up with a website for the school. He has the skill, the coding skill. He sat down and then came up with a beautiful site for the school.
Little Joshua was faced with some challenges when he started learning how to read and write. But since he picked up, his pace has been geometric.
He started off at a very low level academically because of the delay in writing, but we never gave up on him and we kept working hard. But a point in time he peaked very, very excellently, and before you know it, he started topping his class.
I can make some inventions that will change the world.
This is the bond that exists in the Agboola family. Almost every member knows a thing or two about information and communication technology. Joshua Agboola, a boy of many colors, but the most prominent is his shining knack for programming and coding. He is just 10 years old, but has a dream of using technology to create a better world for centuries to come. Master Agboola started grooming his passion from the age of 6.
When I was 6 years old, my dad enrolled me for a coding class called Uniqueness Academy. They actually said I was too young, but my dad decided that they create a curriculum for me. And when I was done, they were surprised at what I could do. Then I went to CCU when I was 7 years old for some Scratch coding classes.
He is proficient in the use of Scratch, HTML5, CSS3, JavaScript, Bootstrap, Java and many others. He has built a number of games, a healthcare app and some websites, one of which he did for his primary school. He was the youngest speaker at the ICTEL Expo of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry in 2019.
The fourth industrial revolution is changing the way we live, work, and do business. My appeal is to parents, teachers, and government, and the captains of the industry seated right here, to empower the children of my generation with technology skills to prepare them for the future.
I requested that he differentiates between coding and programming. It took time to intelligently lecture me on the features of both.
Programming is the step-by-step instruction you give a computer. Just like when you're baking a cake. You have first put flour, first put egg, first put water, then mix it together. So that's like programming. You put a sign of code, like first do the navbar, like for a website, then put the text, then put this. Then you know when you're putting the cake inside the microwave to make it to do it fast. So there's something called the virtual machine, like the microwave. So then that code or that instruction you're not giving the computer, it now translates it and it now display what you want. And coding is looking out in algorithms and programming. They're kind of similar, but they are not the same. Programming is way broader than coding. You can say all programmers are coders, but not all coders are programmers.
This young programmer is passionate about a society where health challenges would be a thing of the past. The inspiration to build an application in line with this need came to bear when he lost his auntie to breast cancer as a result of poor diagnosis.
My auntie was lost to the grips of breast cancer because of poor diagnosis, and that has inspired me to create a web app called Bridge Doctor.
He explains how the Bridge Doctor will work.
You get into it. You search for it is a ailment, and it gives you home remedies, treatment to your disease. Not like go take antibiotics, go take paracetamol. Just like normal ones like honey, go take garlic, go take this, and home remedies that really work.
If you teach me now, I should be able to play.
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
He also taught me how to play one of the games he created.
I'm the master in the game, so that's why I can do this very well. Wow! You passed my 3rd level. I guess I have to create a 4th level.
This is one of the games created by Joshua Agboola, and it is called Joshua Steppers. I'm trying to place my hand on it, and sincerely, this is interesting.
I had a course in Lagos Business School that I had to do. I got a course that I went for a master's program in Lagos Business School, and I got admitted for the program. I gave birth 2 weeks before then, and I took him to class from 2 weeks old. So they've been calling him professor ever since he was 2 weeks old. So I guess somehow, that anointing has rubbed off on him.
Joshua's parents and siblings have been a strong pillar of support for him. He explains how his fashion expert of a mother and other members of the family have contributed towards molding him.
My family is a very huge aspect in my success. Because my dad, my mom, my sister, and even my smaller brother, they pay a lot to making me a better person.
I use tech in fashion. So I think somehow we've been able to embrace the fact that tech is ubiquitous, it's everywhere. And we need to embrace it. We shouldn't say, oh, no, we don't want this thing to come into our life and distract us. No, we need to be able to say, what are those areas that we need to engage in tech?
They believe children should be nurtured to live their dreams from an early age.
Parents, like I said, we are mentors. It's an assignment we have. So we need to create opportunities for our children. That's one of those things we have done. We have been very, very, very deliberate, and we have been very, very intentional. And we are grateful to God that He has added the dimension of grace to cause doors to open to you. So the story of Joshua's first major presentation in public domain on a big stage was Tech Point inspired. That was in 2019.
AI will not only take away jobs, AI will change the nature of jobs 100%, totally. New collar jobs will be created. These jobs like software engineering, cyber security, and web development, and a new set of skills will be required.
He sees his elder sister as a mentor. Deborah Agboola is also a brilliant programmer.
As a special child like him, there will be some times where, due to the fact that he is seen as somebody that, does this, does that, might tend to get lonely at times. So that is so sometimes I try my best to make sure that, he's always, he feels like every normal child.
Okay.
I and Joshua, we are in the same school, and we're in the same class in a particular technology school. So I serve to be, one of my major role in that school is to be like his guide.
Joshua Agboola has been recognized and honored for attaining this feat that many adults still struggle with. I flipped through some of his certificates.
My name is Joshua Agboola. I am a programmer, future skills activist, and the CEO of Just for Tech.
Joshua's oratory skill has also helped to stand him out among his peers. How was he discovered as a public speaker?
That's the food for thought for the elders.
From the time when he was in primary school, from as young as when he was like about 3 years old, right? He will come out with his group, maybe at the end of year program, maybe we'll lead them in music. That was already some kind of public speaking exposure. And when he started playing the keyboard and started going for presentations, at churches, on stage, that was also some kind of public speaking. So this was a preparation for him to lose his stage fright and get more confidence,
When I was 2 years old, I used to come do presentations for my class. I can still remember that picture. I still saw the pictures with my proprietress where I came down out of stage. So I've been able to build confidence when I was at a young age. So that has empowered me to be able to do public speaking and to remove stage fright from my dictionary.
We had to look for a school that understood what we're doing, because it's quite strange to people. Because in his IT school where he is, he actually got a scholarship to be there. And not only did he get a scholarship, even his elder sister got a scholarship to be there. So we were like in a dieter, should we tell him to stay off school for 1 year and do the scholarship because it doesn't always come all the time? Or should we find a school that understands, that thinks out of the box? And God being so great, we approached the school who said they could not accept that. Then we went to another school and we found a school that understood that, look, you need to give children the opportunity to shine.
This is one of my robotics pets. And I'm aspiring to be a robotics engineer in the future, maybe one of the biggest robotics company, and being one of the biggest robotics engineers, because I love the introduction of AI and robotics, making of robots.
For his age and ambitions, Joshua's precocious ideas and giant ambitions continue to blend as he combines going to school and further training as a programmer at his age. This is his class teacher as a junior secondary school student. He has only spent a term here, and his disposition towards learning stands him out.
He had an arrangement with the parents. He only comes to school 2 days in a week. But then, if you look at his results, it's far better than those of students that come to school almost every day, because he's actually doing well, especially in ICT.
I got into his class to see him. His classmate owns up that Joshua is truly a unique person.
Although he comes to school twice a week, but he still copes with everything that we do. He accepts people no matter who they are and the way they are.
What's your philosophy of life?
At his age, here is philosophy of life.
Take one step at a time and you achieve your goal. It's better. And also, another one of my philosophy of life is that have better than none. The fact that I'm balancing this thing is better than not going to school at all.
So what's your dream for Nigeria?
My dream for Nigeria is that more children, more people will be empowered in tech, and will make Nigeria a better place through technology, putting technology in our workspace.
The head of school explains why they had to allow him attend classes twice a week so as to enable him go for his coding and programming training on other days.
We believe that pure academic is not the only thing that can make a student. They should be, if there are some talents discovered in them, they should be able to use them. So we try to balance these two to ensure we give opportunity to such students while at the same time still coping with the academic. And when we tried him and we saw that he could do it, so we agreed to that. And till date, he has been doing well. He has not disappointed us.
Joshua and Deborah just arrived the tech hub where he is enjoying scholarship. He was the first youngest trainee to ever enroll here.
Coding has gotten to the place these days where almost anybody can pick it up as long as they're interested to apply themselves and learn. And then of course Joshua is a very gifted boy and very hardworking, and had always expressed interest in technology-related topics.
Joshua Agboola is the Chief Executive Officer and Chief Coder at Josh for Tech. He is here to acquire more knowledge.
His learning rate is, so compared to the other guys in the class, he learns really fast. And I think, the stuff I can learn at the same rate, but what happens in Joshua's mind, if I were in his brain, I would say his brain tries to look for different ways to perform the same function. So if you're teaching him something in this way, his brain is constantly looking for different ways to do the same thing. So he keeps asking questions from his curiosity, which I think is a very powerful trait for people who would sort of like end up achieving a lot in the future.
So these are objects of the super class, of the main class, like the main class of animal, and we have specific methods.
The role of technology in solving Africa's pressing challenges cannot be overemphasized at this day and age. One way to match up with the developed countries is for the use of technology to skyrocket beyond what it is in the continent. And one way perceived by experts for this to be achieved is by encouraging more children into the sector.
I think what we need to focus on is how do we expose more children very early on to technology, and once that exposure has been done, how do we then also ensure that we provide some of the basic tools that they would need to continue to build on that initial exposure.
When I met him, what came to my mind was, oh my God, there are parents that can let their kids, go this far, and I was really impressed. I think Joshua is a really smart kid, and then the fact that the parents found out and are able to sort of like invest in him at this early age is a very powerful stimulation for me, and even for So it's not just a motivation for him or for his parents. It's a motivation to us as facilitators. It's a motivation to the organization and what we believe in.
Well, what we should do right now is that we should empower children from the very young age, because that's what has lifted up my understanding. Assuming I started as like 8 years old. 8 years old is still early. Assuming I started at this very age, I will have spent more time to achieve what I will have achieved today. So we need to have more spaces to teach small children how to code.
Are geniuses born or made? This is Mr. Agboola's perspective.
A bit of what we are doing with Joshua comes from a book that I read several years ago by Malcolm Gladwell. It's called The Outliers. And the summary of that book, which I don't want parents to lose out, is that if you start early enough with a child in an area of his passion and in an area of his talent, and you keep exposing him and he invests his time and effort in that field, if he is able to accumulate total 10,000 hours of practice and of focus in that field, he will eventually be called a genius.
The duo of father and son have begun a journey of writing a book that will address ICT issues as well as inspire other children.
As an outcome of the TechPoint speaking engagement, we felt there was a need for more people to know about this. So, father and son, business partners, came together. we had a conference and said, okay, fine, let's work on this project together and come up with a book, that will encapsulate what we are talking about the future change that is coming, and this disruption that is going to create a lot of shifts, and that we need to get people prepared. If we are not careful, the short end of the stick will be handed over to Africa. We are at the greatest disadvantage. So it's more like sounding loud, a warning, and getting some people to make a move and engage the change that is about to happen.
I feel that's not the government that's going to build Nigeria. It's not the government that's going to really build any country. America and all these people they call first world countries are mainly built by the people. They are in Britain, UK, they had strategy sessions. They were mainly built by the people. What I feel is that we ourselves should think and pick up with ideas, or make a kind of place that we can ideate. So bring out exceptional kids, bring out exceptional people. Think of ideas on how to make Nigeria a better place. Because the only way we can build our country, it's not by relying on the government alone, but also building a country ourselves.
He used to teach me dog type, how to change colors, how to make a game, how to make a website. I just love him. I can't be without him.
I also noticed that dance runs in the DNA of the Agboola family. What a good way for the tech team to sweat it out. Joshua is a lover of music.
Joshua Agboola is not just a genius in program developing and coding. He's also good at everything he does. And he has a message for Nigerians. And the message is, let's unite and be one. He believes so much that one day, Nigeria will be great again.
Now you know all the colors that Joshua Agboola possesses.